Hello, everybody, and welcome to our UCFB personal statements webinar. So what today is going to be about is going to be to help you in your journey to higher education. So what a personal statement is, we're going to talk a bit about that, what it should include, some top tips for you, and also what universities and HE institutions may be looking for. So hopefully it's going to summarize for you what it is, like I said, and that's where we're going to kind of start from. So what are the important parts or sections of a personal statement? So we're going to be looking at preparation. So where do you start? We're going to look what to include, how to write it, and then the technical details that go alongside it. So a personal statement is part of your UCAS application. People get a bit nervous about the personal statement just because it's about you, by you. So people get a bit, I don't know how to, sort of sell myself in the best way. It's a competitive industry that you might be wanting to get into. You've got to just go for it, and it's got to just be about you, by you. So we're going to give you, like I said, some top tips. If you have no idea where to start, that's absolutely fine. If you've already started or you've maybe done a first draft, then this should help you as well. So preparation. So as you can see, you should hopefully be able to see the presentation in front of you, and that's what I can see in front of me. So that's what I'm going to discuss with you. So preparation, you can only write one personal statement. So don't mention a specific university or college or HE institution by name. So when you have your 5 choices on UCAS, it may well be that there's 5 different universities or 5 different courses. They're all going to get the same personal statement. So just be aware of that when you're thinking, right, okay, how specific can I be? So again, just be aware that they're going to all receive the same one. Check university and college websites to see what skills and qualities they'd like you to have. So again, it's just encompassing maybe the area that you want to study and also the place you might want to study. It's sort of trying to get all of the key skills and qualities that you think will be valued in that area and by that institution. Make a list of things you want to include. So this starts with, this is your plan. So make a list of things that you want to include, brilliant things about you, about things that would set you aside, so things that you really do want to mention. And we'll talk about that a bit more later on. And then start your draft early. People think, oh, well, I've got ages, before I'm going to apply for higher education. I've got ages, so I'll leave it to the last minute. If you can start drafting it early, you will see if you have or where you might have gaps and you think, oh, okay, well, I've not got much work experience or I've not got much example, I've not got many examples that I can use for a certain quality or skill. And then you can look at working on that, obviously, before the deadline of applying. So there is no correct way to write a personal statement. There isn't like a right and a wrong. So don't panic if you've maybe started yours and it's going to look very different to what I'm going to show you. That's absolutely fine. As long as you're getting the same content, you're getting the same key information across, then that's absolutely fine. Please don't worry. So choose a structure that works best for you. But be sure to include everything that best describes your enthusiasm, motivation, and passion for the subject area. Now, remember, everybody is different. And the whole point of a personal statement is to get across our differences. So again, what can you offer that someone else may not be able to? So if you have a look at the diagram on the side, it says opening line and introduction. Really important for a snappy opening line, something of interest. Why do you want to study the course? What have you done that makes you suitable for the course? What have you done that will make the university want to choose you? And then obviously a conclusion that summarizes everything that you've talked about and where you want to be in the future. So what to include? This is really important. And again, please use this recorded webinar to, rewind it back, fast forward it, get to the pieces of information that are relevant to you. So what to include? So why are you interested in the subject? Why is that subject, of all of the subjects available, at HE level, why is this one really jumped out at you? And it's to show a passion. Now, a bit of a top tip already is if you're going to apply for 5 different courses, it's going to be quite difficult to get your subject passion across. So we do advise that you look for courses that sort of complement each other and that have transferable elements, so your personal statement can be relevant to all of them. So it says why you're interested in the subject. The next one is your enthusiasm for the subject, and those two go hand in hand. So what excites you about it? What excites you not only about studying it, but about working within the sector? And how do your previous studies relate to the course? Again, if you're thinking, oh, well, I want to do, for instance, sport at at university or a HE institution. I want to do sport, but I haven't done sport A level or sport BTEC. That's fine. You need to be looking at transferable skills. So skills that you can say, okay, well, what does sport, so what else would I need within sport? So if I'm looking at maybe coaching or any degree really, will have a lot of transferable elements from any study you've done at level 3. So don't be put off if you think, oh, well, it's not directly relevant, because there will be massive relevance within the courses, for whatever you want to do. And then relevant aspects of jobs, placements, work experience, or volunteering. And again, this is just to set you aside. It's all about putting you at the top of a pile. So imagine you and all your friends are applying for the same course. What would make your personal statement different? How would you be looked at when you compared against all of your friendship group or people that you know? So again, what makes you different? That's why we say all personal statements will be different. So don't panic. Activities or hobbies that show your interest in the subject. And again, I mentioned this before, anything that's got transferable elements. Don't panic if it's not, a direct transfer. That's absolutely fine. If it's got transferable elements, perfect. Any training or achievements that show your skills. So again, that's evidence. You'll hear me talk about that quite a lot through this presentation. Evidence. So how can you evidence how you have shown a certain skill or quality in everyday life, in your previous studies, maybe in a part-time job? So it's all about linking it back. So to showing your skills, to be relevant, to be for proof, to make sure that what you say is the case. Demonstrate you're a great candidate and you have skills and qualities they're looking for. And again, all the way through, it's going to be, your personal statement is going to be judged on key indicators of, what a university or a HE institution wants for a student on that course. So what are they looking for? Especially within football and sport, we are looking for a lot of work experience. We're also looking for interest in the subject is a massive one, because if you're not interested, you're not going to have that internal motivation, to really achieve and really get going. And when you're studying. So make a list of bullet points of what you wish to include in each paragraph. So again, this is when we're going to be planning. So we've got almost like a blank page. You need to make a list, just literally a few words of what do you think would be valued about you and what you've achieved. So a D.A.V. award, fantastic. I'm hardworking, and then obviously give an example. I'm always keen to learn new things. Give an example. I have excellent leadership skills. Give an example. Now those are very openly transferable skills that are listed there to help you, just as examples. But they are to show you how anything can be transferred if you can give a good example and you can link it back to the course. Okay, how to write it. So we're looking at an introduction. So start with an opening sentence that encourages the reader to read on. So it's really like you're writing a very short book about yourself. So if you're going to make it an exciting book, then you'd be looking at the first page or the first line that really wants to engage the reader. Structure what you want to include in an order that's most relevant to what the universities and colleges are looking for. So again, we're trying to prioritize what the HE institution or the university or the college, what they want, try and look relevant to what you're applying to study. Conclusion. So reinforce your commitment, enthusiasm and skills suited to university or college life. Check your grammar, spelling, punctuation, leave time to get feedback and redraft. So again, really important. What you're going to produce when you first start this will not be the final product. It's quite a process. So you need to make sure you've got all the information in there. You've opened it well. You've structured the middle bit, if you like, well, and then the end paragraph, the conclusion, you've reinforced your commitment, enthusiasm and skills suited to the university and college and subject. And then you've got your grammar, spelling and punctuation reflecting your, sort of attention to detail and all of these other skills and qualities that could attribute, and then leave time to get feedback and redraft. Because even if you think, oh, actually I think that's quite good, your friends could read it, your parents, I don't know, other family members, anyone can read it and say, oh yeah, that's great, but you missed this out about yourself. And I think that's a really fantastic quality or skill that you have. So yeah, so like I said, we've got the beginning, we've got the middle, and then we've got the end, which sounds really simple. But if you're looking at an introduction and a conclusion, they're the two really key bits, and then the content in the middle is what will set you apart. Okay, so how to write it. So we've mentioned this before. So your skill that you have. So as an example, because I have always been keen to learn new things, I And then you use a work experience or qualification evidence. So you're using an example that evidences what skill you're saying you have. And then it implies, as you can see on the arrow that goes down, I'm hardworking and pragmatic, because what you just told me, that you did the Duke of Edinburgh Award as an example, implies that you are hardworking and pragmatic. And then newly developed skill, where I was able to further develop my leadership skills. And it shows you've been proactive and you've done something above and beyond what you had to do. So again, it's just getting it all in there. And it is a funny feeling, because we're not naturally very good at selling ourselves, how amazing we are. If you were asked to write a really amazing piece of writing about your best friend, or like I said, a sibling or a parent or anyone, you'd probably be able to do it a bit better or a bit easier. You'd find it easier than writing about yourself. So I know it does feel slightly unnatural sometimes, but hopefully this will help you. So length. So there is a strict limit to a personal statement submission. So you've got up to 4,000 characters. So character is spaces, it's literally everything. Characters, it's writing, it's full stops, anything. So 47 lines of text. So that includes, again, it says that includes spaces and blank lines. So we are limited on what you can do. Now, if you write it directly into UCAS, it comes up with your word count automatically. But what we do advise is that you write it in Word and you use the word count on Word, because it's easier to edit. It's easier to print off and have people proofread it. And obviously then you're not actually relying on it being stored online somewhere, on the UCAS website, because they do save it as you go along. So we do initially say, if you can write it on Word, you can then use all of the tools such as spell check, grammar check, the word count. That won't, the spelling and grammar help is not available on the UCAS website, because obviously they want you to do it yourself. But if you use Word, you can then copy and paste it in when you're ready to submit it, and you've been able to use the spell check and the grammar check on Word. So make sure you don't copy. So plagiarism is a real problem for HE institutions. People, there's lots of examples online. You've probably got a lot of friends who are writing theirs at the same time, but please do not copy, do not plagiarize someone else's work. UCAS has software that detects similarities, and this can jeopardize your application, because obviously it wouldn't be your personal statement that you're submitting. You've taken it from somewhere else, and we want it, as a HE institution, we want it to be from you. It's about you, so we want you to have put your personal touch on it. Don't, just a bit of a side note on that, don't feel though that you can't use examples and learn from them. There's loads on the internet, on even UCAS publish a lot of, it's just to get an idea of what a really good personal statement sounds like. So again, don't be put off using examples, but don't plagiarize it, don't copy and paste them. So why do we need a personal statement? So what's the point? So again, it stresses a lot of people out. Competition for places is very high, and in HE, this is the way you apply. So because most courses do not interview, the personal statement is your responsibility. So it's not about your teachers. It's not what your teachers think of you. It's not about what anyone else thinks of you. It's what you think about yourself and how you think you're doing and what you've got to offer. An admissions tutor can see hundreds of forms in a day. An interesting but succinct personal statement makes all the difference. Again, especially if you're borderline for the entry requirements, we are really, especially at UCFB, we really value the personal statement. It gives us so much more information about who you are, where you want to go, what you want to study, and why. It gives us that information that your qualifications or your predicted grades just can't give us. So a good personal statement will give you the edge over over anyone who's going to be applying for the same course. So over your fellow applicants. So imagine in one course, everyone's personal statement is kind of being compared with each other, and we don't know you. So it's about getting yourself across in this one quite short piece of writing. So yeah, I know it sounds like the pressure's on, but if you can write a good one, honestly, it really adds to your application. Okay, so I'm going to give you sort of a bit of an inside track now. So top things admissions teams may be looking for. So what is a HE institution looking for? Students with the academic potential to benefit from the course. So where do you see yourself going if you study this course? Again, it's not just about university being the destination. University is the journey. It sounds really cheesy, I know, but it's the journey. And where are you going to go with that? So students who are motivated towards studying this particular kind of course. So again, what interests you about that specific course, and what is it about that course that's made you choose that over maybe quite a similar course or a course totally different? Students with relevant experience for the course. And again, this just shows that you are aware of the requirements, you know, and what the day-to-day life of someone working in that sector is going to be like. The personal skills a student can bring to the course, and again, that's self-explanatory. So have you got the skills? So a skill is something that you've learned. So have you got the skills on entry that you will then need, or needs to be transferable to the course, that will then help you within the course and achieve greatness, I suppose, achieve your potential. The interest that a student has. Now, we need to talk about interest, and it doesn't need to just be, for instance, we do a degree as an example in football coaching and management. The interest that a student has, don't just talk about your football coaching experience, you know, and the football experience that you have for that course. Talk about other interests that you have, because it makes you a well-rounded individual. And again, that's so good with so many skills being able to be transferred. Remember that although each university cannot see the students' other choices, they will all see the same personal statement. So again, that's just really important. You can't, you know, you're not writing 5 different ones for 5 different course applications. So qualifications, and why are they important? So you've got a qualification definition there: a condition that must be fulfilled before a right can be acquired, an official requirement. So obviously the qualification when you're looking at going into HE will be your level 3 study. That's so important. Make sure you get that down in your UCAS form, and that's kind of on the first part of your UCAS form. When we're looking at grades if you've already achieved them, we're looking at predicted grades if you are yet to, you know, sit your exams. Qualifications are really important, but they're only sort of half the story. So motivation. So what motivates people other than, you know, that you've studied it before and you've got the qualifications? So what goals have you got? Where do you want to go with this? What's your performance? So what have you already done, your performance? How can you show a HE institution that you will put all the effort in and your performance will be to the best that you can? An idea. So have you got any ideas within the sector, or the ideas of maybe, you know, your own business or where the sector might be going in the future? It's all showing an interest and showing that you're motivated to learn about it. Encourage, support, attitude, and success. So those 7 things are kind of just 7 things that if you can get them in your personal statement or on your whole application, you will be doing really, really well. You know, you need to be getting your motivation will be very different than the next person's motivation. So that's why a personal statement is so important. Skills. So what skills have you got that you can show that then will be relevant? And I've talked about transferable skills all the way through. Transferable skills are so important. It might not feel directly applicable when you're looking at maybe, I don't know, a title of the course that you studied or the initial title of the job role that you've done as work experience. But when you dig deeper, the transferability is really, really high. So literal knowledge. So what knowledge have you got from your qualifications, from other things that you've done, from people you've spoken to? Vocabulary. So how are you going to talk about them? Inference, main idea, summarizing, point of view, analyze, reasoning. So again, how are you going to show that? And finding evidence. All of these things, can you show them? Can you use examples to show them? And that's the key, really. Can you prove in a way that that you've done them? So the course, let's get it really, really sort of important that the course is going to be a running theme, or the course areas that you're looking at is going to be a running theme throughout your personal statement. The part of most interest of the admissions tutor is how you're going to tell us why you want to study that course. The more competitive the course, the more you should write about the subject and more relevant you should make it to the subject. It should be around 30 to 50% of your personal statement should be directly relatable to the course or the course area you're wanting to study, and your enthusiasm for the subject and how it first developed. And so what got you into sport or English or criminology or law, whatever area you are looking at, what sparked the interest in you? It might have been that you've done previous study on it, or it might have been something a bit out of the ordinary. And, you know, admissions tutors love to hear that. Which part of the subject of particular interest to you? This is when you need to do a bit of digging into the courses that you want to be applying to. So at UCFB, as an example, we show you all of the course modules that you'll be doing in our prospectus. If you can look at a specific module that you'll be very interested in, so you look at the course content, talk about that. Why is it of particular interest to you? If studying the subject at the moment, mention particular coursework or assignments you've really enjoyed. Mention any extra reading around the subject you've done. If the course ties in with any career aspirations, you might say how you became interested in this career, looking at where you want to go with this course. So again, look sort of 10 years ahead. Why would you like to be in the sector in 10 years, as an example? Experience. Now, this is really important, especially when you're looking at competitive courses. Work experience is really important for courses leading to professions. So medicine, nursing, physio, teaching, anything that's looking at a profession, it's like a vocation, if you like, is really important that you have relevant experience before you start, and then obviously you keep getting experience throughout. For other courses, attendance at conferences or any other out-of-school visits related to your chosen subject is really important too. Say what insights this has given you into your chosen area of study and profession. So why? So again, what insights have you got? What knowledge have you got that might put your knowledge level above someone else who is applying? And what is your expectation for working in that sector, for studying it? How have you come about that very educated opinion? How have you come to that? So little bottom top tip, think about any experience you gain that will strengthen your application. And again, think about all the experience that you might have done. We say within 3 years. So if you can talk about experience within the last 3 years, then that will be the most relevant and obviously the most valued because it's relatively just happened. I'm not going to go through all of these, but have a look. Because the general skills and attributes will be looked upon favourably, we're looking at personal skills and attributes and also related to work and studies. So personal, you'd be looking at it's qualities, really. It's something about you that is a quality. So caring, responsible, trustworthy, enthusiastic, approachable, and hardworking. That is about you. You sort of are that or you're not. So if you are, think about using examples to prove or to evidence that you are. Related to work and studies, good communicator, team worker, good organizer, problem solver, self-motivated, leadership and initiative. So if you're going to say, I've shown brilliant leadership skills, and then you'd give the example when. I'm a great problem solver, which will be relevant to this course because, and then you evidence when you've shown good problem solving skills. Team worker, and so on and so forth. So all about you. Again, we are skills, attributes and interests. It needs to be about you, very personal. So evidence from part-time work, sports and other leisure pursuits, volunteer or charity work, student reps, prefects, mentoring, social activities. So it's all about you, and your experiences will be very different than the next person. So don't think, they might not even like to hear about that. We will. We definitely will if it's going to put you, it might put you apart, put you aside from someone else. Qualities for higher education. Academic skills, so your ability to handle information, ability to defend your opinion, debate. So healthy debate within HE is really, really great to find out people's viewpoints, but also be able to put yours forward. Knowledge of subject area and time management. And then moving across, personal characteristics, which we've talked about, core skills, which we mentioned before about with skills, and social skills. So things that you can offer socially or within a group or within a social scenario that may well come up as part of the degree area, and then later on the career area you want to be a part of. Qualities for higher education. So qualities is something about you, as we mentioned before. I have well-developed computer skills. Well, what skills? Be specific. I am very communicative, but give a concrete and a formal example. So brilliant. If your communication skills are up there, are really fantastic, tell us how you know that or how you can prove that to us in a way or evidence that. I supported staff at a nursery and playgroup. Well, what did you do? And what did you learn from that? I helped my sports team get sponsorship. Brilliant. But how did you do that? And did you have to be proactive? Did you have to network? What skills did you bring in, and how can you evidence them? I work well by myself and in a team. Brilliant. 2 things to have. But again, it says there, this is bland and really uninformative. Anyone could write that. And if you don't have the evidence, it's just words. The evidence when you've worked by yourself and when you've worked in a team. Most common opening sentences. Now, again, these are opening sentences that lots and lots and lots of people use. If you want to be original, I mentioned at the beginning about having a really punchy opening sentence. Don't feel you can't use similar to these, but try and get a really punchy opening sentence that will encourage the person to read on, because very often it's actually the subject tutor or the lecturer that will be reading your personal statement as well as admissions. So again, try and grab the attention of that person. And finally, now these are really the top four tips. Be yourself. Please do not write it around what you think a university will want to hear, because you need to be yourself. It's also about being, you're selecting universities, and universities are selecting you as obviously a great student. So it all needs to be about honesty. So be yourself. You know, you're going to be fantastic on the course that you're choosing as yourself. Don't sort of exaggerate or don't make things up just to make yourself sound a better candidate, if that makes sense. Apply, be you. Tell us what you're into. Tell us what you like to do, what you've done, how you can evidence things. That's far, far, far better and far more interesting. Keep a copy. Always keep a copy. And as I mentioned at the beginning, if you want to write it on Word, please do that. I always advise the students I speak to do that. If you can write it on Word, it mentions at the bottom there, spelling and grammar and sort of sentence length are all checked for you, and the tools on Word can really help you. Do not plagiarize. So UCAS uses a similarity detection program. Now there will be lots of personal statements with similar vibes, similar feelings to the words that you're using, but there's a difference between having a similar personal statement because you've done similar to someone and you're going for a similar course. But if you actually are copying, pasting, then that's plagiarism, and that's what the software will bring up. Personal statements are checked against a library of those already in the system and from a variety of websites and paper publications. Each new statement is added to the library after processing. So it's an automatic software that just scans to make sure that it's not all the same as any others that have been applied, or any others that are online. Check spelling, grammar, sentence length thoroughly. And again, it's really important you do that, because once you've done that, it's instantly evidencing, like I said, your attention to detail and your literacy skills. Punctuation, spelling and grammar, do not rely on spell check, but you can use it, but don't rely on it. You still have to read through it, still get people to proofread it. Try reading your sentences out loud. Try listening to them. So Google text to speech. Get other people to read your work, and you can even get other people to read it out loud, again, because that's how someone else will be reading it. So if you're just listening to it, try and get someone to eat out loud. I'm reading the Let's Eat Grandma example there. Get someone to read it to you out loud, and it becomes much more real as to how someone else will be reading your work, if that makes sense. Useful information. Please use the UCAS website. There is loads on there. The complete university guide there's information on there. UCAS. So the search tool at the top is for the different UCAS search tools are for the different courses. You've got a complete university guide. You've got UCAS website, which has got some examples on there for personal statements for you to read and get a good vibe as to what a good one sounds like, and maybe the faults in a not so good one. And then you've also got opendays.com, and that will show you all of the different open days that are on offer. Now, I know it's been a bit of a whistle-stop tour, and it's been maybe we've packed a lot into that webinar, and it was just to give you a really general overview what universities might be looking for, maybe the mistakes that some students fall into. But if you do need anything else, please, this is my email address now on the screen, j.davison@ucfb.com. Please, drop me an email. I will be able to help you. We even at UCFB can offer, we can't look at your personal statement before, and tell you if you'd get a place, but we can help you with things like maybe areas that you could improve, or areas that you might want to, maybe talk a bit more about or talk a bit less about. So yeah, we can help you, and we can also help you when you're looking at the format and the drafting and how the process can work for you as well. So again, feel free to drop me an email. That's absolutely fine. And finally, if you want to check us out on social media and our website, the information's there in front of you. But once again, thank you so much for watching and hoping. I mean, if you got through to the end of this, you're probably brains thinking, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. But hopefully this has helped you, and feel free, you can rewind it, you can fast forward it to relevant bits for you. But the key things I'll leave you with is, 1, get a plan together. It's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to write a personal statement in half an hour. It's going to be a plan. There's going to be drafts. There's going to be people helping you. And then, after all of this process, you will have a really brilliant, fantastic one ready to submit at the end. Another top tip, again, what I mentioned about Word, it'll just help you it'll just help you, and you can have it saved on a pen drive, you can have it saved to a computer as well, and you can print it off and you can send to people. The UCAS website does store it online. You don't have to do it all in one and then send it. But yeah, like I said, and then the final one is be you. Just be you. You don't try and be someone that you're not. You're going to be offered a place on a course in regards to who you are, not who you're trying to be, because I suppose at the end of the day, if you're going to be offered a place on a course because of who you're pretending to be, that course might not have been for you. You might think it was, but actually maybe it wasn't. So again, just be you. Oh, I said that was the final one, but let's just put an end note about plagiarism. Please don't think I've said not to read examples. You must read examples. Use what's online, use the resources, just don't copy them directly. Okay, once again, thank you so much for listening. Any more information that you need, drop me an email. And yes, good luck. See ya.